And we're live for Sunday Service episode number 53. Just got back from Vegas, was at Circa watching UFC 318 last night. Pretty solid card overall. The prelims went nuts, and then we had all decisions. Bunch of decisions in a row. All the fights on the main card went to a decision. A lot of upsets on the main card as well. I was kind of debating if I was going to do this live stream because, the time change from Vegas to here is a little bit much, a little tired, early flight. But I was like, nah, I got to get on here, got to talk to the chat, give my opinion on some stuff, hear what you guys got to say. Maybe I missed something. That's why I like doing these live chats to see what everybody else is talking about in case I missed everything because I can't catch everything. But I thought last night was a pretty good card. The main event obviously was the highlight of it. And I don't know, maybe I'll have like a cold take because maybe it's a hot take, but a lot of people might not like it. But I thought the fight could have been a lot better than it actually was. But either way, I'm not mad about it because, it's Dustin Poirier's time to shine and he got his time to shine. Pretty eventful moments in the fight, but overall I thought the fight was a little bit safe. I thought Max played it a little bit safe. I thought Poirier clinching up at the end was a little bit safe. But either way, man, both legends, BMF title, I still think it's absolute bogus. Don't really like it, but it was the fight for Dustin Poirier to make his retirement on. Co-main event, Paulo Costa coming through as the underdog. I never really thought Kopylov was that great, but I really was not happy about putting money on Paulo Costa considering what he had done. Ultimately, I did put a little bit of money on him. Nicely done by Paulo Costa. Absolutely, blanked him out there. 3-0, easy money for Paulo Costa. Feature bout Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland? Good Lord, Kevin Holland. I was thinking about that fight not really the entire week, but when I thought about the fight, I'm like, dude, D-Rod doesn't have any path to victory here. But when you think about how does D-Rod win? That's exactly how D-Rod wins. He came to fight. And it's at the end of the day, this is MMA. It is a fist fight. And a couple big punches can change the entire fight. They absolutely did. D-Rod knocked him down twice. I don't think Kevin Holland had been knocked down in the UFC before that. And then in round 3, he's on death's door. He's tired. Kevin Holland should have had the TKO and still should have been able to win. But shout out to Daniel Rodriguez, man, 38. And he's going to be ranked most likely. I think Kevin was ranked before that. So D-Rod will probably be ranked. Dan Ige fumbling the bag against Patricio Pitbull. I didn't really have a ton of confidence in Dan Ige to win, considering the line. But I thought, I think he should win. But I wasn't really willing to pay, minus 220. A lot of people were saying he was the lock of the century. And so I was like, all right, I'll put this to the test. I'll put him in the many-men parlay. What happened? He loses us in the many-man parlay. Daniel Zellhuber, absolute bum. Absolute bum. Okay, I thought this guy actually had some skills, but he doesn't want to go out there and use them. He's afraid of a fight. It's pretty clear at this point in his career that he is afraid of a fight, just spamming body kicks from range the entire fight, not willing to engage. Dude, Michael Johnson has fast hands, but he is not that durable. And you're way longer than him. Pump a jab out there, brother. Prelims, we'll go over those too, if you want to. But as I said, probably not going to go super long, but I wanted to get on here and get some thoughts out, hear what the chat's got to say. Vinny Diaz in the chat. How we doing, brother? What's best for Holloway? I really think the Charles Oliveira fight makes the most sense. That's why I put it in the title. I think Max Holloway can still do something at 155. And I was actually impressed with the way he handled himself in the fight because I thought he had a perfect game plan to beat Dustin Poirier. I mean, he's fought him twice before. In the second fight, he was losing because he was in the pocket too much. He played it safe. He was really not trying to engage in the pocket. He was trying to be on the outside and chip away at him, interrupt anything that Dustin Poirier could get going downhill, and then circle out, reset. Very smart performance from Max. And I think that's going to be the advantage that he has over a lot of these 155ers is the footwork, the speed, and the movement paired with the volume and the cardio and the durability and solid takedown defense as well. So I think he still could do really good things at 155. Is he going to beat Ilia Topuria at 155? No. but I think he could beat Charles Oliveira. And Charles Oliveira, obviously coming off the big knockout loss, like he's 36 now. I think Max could probably beat Charles. So I think that's the fight to make. Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway rematch. First fight wasn't really a fight, long time ago. At 155, at least Charles has somewhat of an advantage because he's been at 155 for a long time. Obviously, people said that about Poirier, but look what happened. I think Max could definitely beat Charles Oliveira. I think that's what's next. That's why I put it in the title. Maybe somebody else could throw something out there for Max in the chat outside of a Charles Oliveira fight. I'd be interested to hear what you got to say. Maybe Dan Hooker or something like that. Definitely not a Gaethje rematch, not Remax. Prelims were crazy. They were nuts, dude. I saw a bunch of round one finishes in my head, and that's where I made a ton of money in Vegas was those parlays, dude. Those parlays were absolute money. I made a good amount of money on the tables too. So it was a good trip to Las Vegas for me overall, money-wise. It was a great trip. Paid for the trip and then some. It was good. Holloway versus Charles would be sick. I think that is absolutely the fight to make. Crazy underdog wins last night, dude. I mean, Michael Johnson was 4-1, 5-1. Patricio was close to 2-1. D-Rod was probably 4-1. Paulo was 2-1. Yeah, those are some big dog cashes. I can't believe he won either, but at the same time, I can because Zell Huber was just scared of the fight the entire time, dude. I don't know what's going on with that dude. He has a lot of potential. He just doesn't do anything, man. What's next for Kevin Holland? They'll probably give him like a Max Griffin or some shit. Max Griffin. Maybe they'll give him Chris Curtis. Who knows? He'll probably fight in the next couple of months. He'll probably fight in September, something like that. He'll get back to it. Was just listening to your early picks, then you go live. Yeah, the early picks video is live, so you can go check it out on the HI Picks YouTube channel. I recorded it early. I think I recorded it like Wednesday or Thursday of last week because I was leaving on Thursday to go to Vegas. And I wanted to get it out on Sunday. So I recorded it last week, so some of the odds aren't out there, but go check it out. Gave you my early thoughts on all the fights. Should be a good time. Go check it out. Diddy party. Dude, no Diddy party, bro. 100%. Vinicius Oliveira has the weirdest style I've ever seen. It's DDP style, bro. It's DDP style with like a little bit of Adderall to it. Not as DDP's a little bit calculated, but at times he just fucking, swings wild. Vinicius Oliveira is like DDP on Adderall. There's no thought process. It's just go, 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 go. Swinging wild, falling all over the place, tripping over himself. Weird stuff, dude. It works, though. It works. The dude's got dog in him. Good performance by Oliveira, for sure. Poirier should have went out swinging. Dude, I was very... that left like a bitter taste in my mouth, man. I don't know if anybody else thought this too, but when Max pointed to the center with 10 seconds left, and I was like, okay, let's see this, dude. I've been waiting for this the entire fight. And Max starts ripping these really fast body shots. It looks like he could have been doing that the entire fight, and Poirier would have just flaked because he didn't want any of that. He started ripping those body shots, and Poirier was like, holy shit, let me clinch this dude up. And that's probably the worst way to end a BMF title fight, dude. You want to throw down with 10 seconds left, and then you clinch up at the end? Like, I love me some Dustin Poirier, but come on, man. Like, at least throw a little bit of something out there, or maybe step back and then enter with something. But to clinch him up was like, dude, not awesome. Not a good way to end the fight, dude. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, but let me know in the chat if you agree with me or not. Missed on Pitbull, Costa, and DP parlay. Oh, damn, this sucks. Should have hedged out. Great read on round one span, round one crew parlay. I tailed it and made a couple bags out of it. Good stuff, brother. That was an easy one. I loved a bunch of those round one finishes, and sometimes, I mean, the crew one really cashed with 20 seconds left, so kind of a lucky cash, but he also almost had the guillotine as well. So yeah, it was a good cash. Glad you tailed it. Glad some other people made some money as well. I know everyone talking about Holloway versus Oliveira, but Dominic Cruz suggested Holloway fight Dan Hooker. What would you think of that fight? That's probably the only one that I would say, other than the Oliveira fight, would be Holloway and Hooker. Hooker's got to get healthy, though. I think that would be a good fight as well. But I think Max would beat him as well. I think Max would do similar things he did to Poirier, use his footwork, use his speed, and stay to the outside. Interception, I think that's a reply to somebody else. I'm not sure. Vinicius is like Carlos Prates with rabies. I mean, maybe the frame, not the technicality at all either. You're lucky I checked my notifications. You put 7 o'clock, not 6:30. Yeah, I put 7 o'clock, and then I was like, I just want to get this out and get to it because I was ready to do it. So I'm gonna just do it at 6:30. But appreciate you for joining anyway. Glad you got the noties on. Everyone's saying that made me think he might win. I don't know. You're gonna have to elaborate. Holland doesn't improve his skills, really. He really doesn't. I thought Holland could have easily outworked him on the ground. I don't know why he didn't. Because D-Rod's not that great of a grappler. We're talking about Daniel Rodriguez that got submitted by Neil Magny. Like, when he got on top of him in round 3, too, I was like, it's over, dude. D-Rod can't get up from this. And he hit like he like tried to not roll for a knee, but he like split his legs. So then Kevin Holland fell on his butt, and that's how he got up. I was like, dude, you're getting swept like that. Good Lord. One away, bro. My cycle was so close. Probably a lot of close cycles, bro. Kevin Holland round 3 finish. I would have been screaming, bro. 45-70. Hey, D-Rod must know what a 45-70 is then. Crazy that people actually took Johnson. I don't know many that did, but craziest part is, so I was in Vegas with my girl, and I'm like, you want to put a bet in? She says, give me Michael Johnson. And I was like, well, you got to play him by KO. Like, he's not going to submit him. He's not going to win a decision. So I put the bet in on Michael Johnson by KO. He ends up just winning the decision. So unfortunately, should have just listened to the lady. Should have listened to the lady, and we could have made some more money on Michael Johnson. Unfortunate that I got greedy and went for the KO. Look, gas is fucking round 3. Yeah, both of them did, really. I think Zellhuber anticipating those leg kicks to drop his arm. Yeah. I think he was, but like, dude, you can't just rely on hitting somebody with body kicks and then knocking him out with like a head kick, dude. Like, he didn't throw his hands much at all. And every time he did, he got countered. So I guess that's why he didn't throw his hands. But, dude, you have a huge reach advantage. You have a good jab. Dude, like, pop the jab out there. He's not giving Michael Johnson any type of resistance for entering the pocket. Because when they're at range, he's just spamming body kicks. And then once Michael Johnson gets past the body kick, he had nothing to look elsewhere at. I mean, if you're popping a jab out there, at least he's got to know, like, if I come in, I have to slip one way or the other. Zellhuber's just not throwing anything out there. It's just body kicks. Okay, body kicks done. Then you can enter with the hands. There's just nothing there. So, terrible performance from Zellhuber. Why isn't Jan odds on DraftKings or FanDuel? Don't know. But I don't really care because I don't have DraftKings or FanDuel either. But so they'll probably add it, though, I'm sure. Kelvin Gastelum also missed weight by 10 pounds. Yeah, that was a real shitty move from Kelvin Gastelum, that fight. What's going on, Jork? How we doing? MJ ruined my parlay. I ain't mad. Yeah. Max and Oz are 2 guys I don't want to lose. Hey, I mean, last night, I don't think anybody wanted either guy to lose, but one of them had to. And considering it was a retirement fight, I thought it was going to be Poirier. Kevin and Ige ruined my parlays, dude. Both were huge parlay busters for a lot of guys. Max and Dan Hooker for BMF. I mean, go ahead. Why not make it, right? Why not make another BMF title fight? The thing is, if you're going to be in a BMF title fight, if Max is going to be in another BMF title fight, he's got to fucking go for the finish, dude. He's got to fucking go for the finish. I'm pretty sure when Max dropped him in round 1, he kind of held back. Because he dropped him with that straight right, put him on his butt. And then he didn't really follow up with much. He landed one left hook, sat down Poirier again, And I was like, dude, you could finish this dude right now. I mean, he's not there. And he kind of let up, dude. Kind of let up. Can't take another Charles Oliveira loss. As long as he's fighting, you're probably going to have to deal with a couple more. I'm sorry, bro. Holland never touching another slip. Hey, I mean, a lot of people will say that, but next fight comes around, you'll see the matchup. You'll be like, you know what? I might have to get me some Kevin Holland here, you know? Kopylov cooked me. Yeah, that was a terrible look for Kopylov. Never thought the guy was that good. I mean, he's 34. Look at his wins in the UFC. They're really not that good, dude. They're really not that good. So ultimately, I picked Kopylov, and then I came around to Paulo Costa because I was like, dude, if he has a good game plan, man, and he's plus 200, I got to take a little shot. Hooker or Oliveira to fight Max? Yeah. If they were going to fight, I would maybe take Charles. Maybe. He was taken to the Unk MJ got him. Unk MJ got him bad. Who did Michael Johnson call out? Didn't he call out Holloway for a fight? I think he might have. I don't know. The only bad part about watching at the Stadium Swim is they don't have the audio in between fights. They just turn it on for the fight, so I couldn't really hear much. Rufy versus Max would be an instant classic. I don't know about that, dude. I don't think you could chuck Mauricio Rufy against Max Holloway right now. That would be a big step up for Rufy. Who do I shout out to Dan from Half the Battle? We talked about this on the live stream last Tuesday when we broke down the card. Zellhuber Ogden rematch. I mean, after last night, I think I got to take Ogden, man. I think I got to take Ogden. Feel bad for Jackson McVeigh climbed the ranks without even fighting. Yeah, that looked bad, dude. Like I thought Jackson McVeigh would have a little bit more than that for Bruno Ferreira, but I guess not. Are really going to see D-Rod ranked at welterweight tomorrow? We will. I guess it'll be Tuesday, but we're going to see D-Rod in the rankings at 38 years of age. What do you think of Costa's performance? I thought it was perfect. It was exactly what he needed to do. Outwork him, because Kopylov does not like to be not in control. And when he's not in control, like if Costa was just being super active, and Kopylov's not really a good counter striker. He's a guy that has to control the pace and start to break you down. But if you're there and you're throwing a lot at him, and you have to, it can't just be blind volume, but you got to be working him a little bit. He doesn't really know what to do. And he didn't know what to do. That's why he got 30-27. Out of my 3-leg, last leg came down to Zellhuber round 3 or decision. Of course, he blew it. He's down 2 rounds, and he didn't even really try to go for a finish, man. Terrible. What's your thoughts on Buchecha, RDR, Guskov, Parlayski? Doesn't sound terrible, but Guskov's going to have to defend those takedowns. And Buchecha, I don't know what to do with the guy, man. I don't know what to do with the guy, but I do think RDR, right now at least, because I have to always preface it, when I'm giving my take on a fight, because people will be like, oh, you said this. But right now, I think RDR probably gets it done. I think Dustin thought the score was closer and didn't want to get KO'd. He said he thought it was 2-2. Yeah, man, but still, even if it's 2-2, you're down in the 5th, you're definitely losing the 5th. You're not going to give it a couple last punches, try to, land something big. I don't know what it is, but Dustin seemed off. I think that had a lot to do with Holloway's game plan, but I also thought you could see the speed is not quite there, because, the hands still crisp, still accurate. And when he's in his flow, he's still got all the skills. But I thought the speed was definitely on the side of Max. And that's for one, because he's a little bit younger, but also because he's from a lighter weight class and he's always used his speed. And Poirier, not like a guy that uses his speed very much, but when he's that far outmatched in the speed category, he just can't get anything going because Max isn't there to be hit. So that's why I think he seemed off. Obviously he still competed very well, so can't say he was terrible. That last second clinch was a bad look for Boca Boxy. It was, dude. It was a bad look. It was a bad look. I mean, 10 seconds, show me your best pocket boxing, and then bro clinches up. Come on, Dustin. Come on. That sucks, dude. That sucks. Big facts. Personally, I think RDR is worth it because he's an underdog. I agree. Vinicius, he's going to get KO'd with his hands down like that. He's already been KO'd 3 times. So, yeah, I get what you're saying there, bro. I get what you're saying. Missed my parlay with Dustin strikes by 1. Had him at 110 plus. He had 109. Crazy that Holloway got almost 200, dude. That's crazy. That sucks. That sucks. 110 plus. That was probably around even money, wasn't it? We couldn't let our last image of him in a fight get Gaethje. I'm glad he clinched. Fun fight. He had one. Be talking more Crockler. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, the fact that Holloway was like, he was working him for that 3 seconds where they stood in the pocket. Holloway was fucking working him. So I can't blame him for clinching up because he was like, holy shit, this dude's fast. He's throwing heat at me. I don't want to get knocked out. I'll clinch. It's probably just a reaction. It probably wasn't like a, you know, if this happens, I'm just going to clinch him. Probably just a reaction. Dan Hooker gets cooked. He still sucks. I don't think he sucks, but yeah. Maddie's curse is still kicking. Unfortunate. Unfortunate for Maddie. Jork's curse is still on him. D-Rod sucks. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he sucks, but he should not be in the rankings, man. What was your fight of the night pick? I was baffled that they gave the fight of the night to Marvin Vettori and Brendan Allen. I don't know if anybody else thought that was like some banger, but when I was watching it, I was like, you know, they're going back and forth. Both guys are landing some shots. But I don't know how you don't give the fight of the night to Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez. Like 3 knockdowns in the fight. D-Rod drops him in round 1. D-Rod drops him in round 2. Kevin Holland has him nearly knocked out in round 3. Nearly has him submitted in round 3. D-Rod battles back, ends the fight on top. Like, how is that not the fight of the night? Like, am I missing something here? It felt like Dana was giving Vettori and Allen like a pity fight of the night because he put them on the prelims when they're ranked above Paulo Costa and Roman Kopylov, who was the co-main event. It felt like a pity fight of the night to give it to Vettori and Brendan Allen. I thought fight of the night would for sure be D-Rod versus Kevin Holland. And I didn't really understand why Max was like, what? We didn't get fight of the night? Like, dude, it was a good fight, but for a BMF title fight, like, I kind of expected more. I mean, I have to give Max props because he fought very smart, but he wasn't going in there like just blood and guts type of war. Like, it was more of a technical break you down type of performance from Max. And Poirier had his moments, but he couldn't really get much going. So I didn't understand why Max was like, whoa, we didn't get fight of the night? What? Like, dude, for one, you get paid more than anybody else on the card. You don't need another 50K bonus. For 2, there were better fights on the card. And I still don't know how Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez didn't get it. Hate to say it, but Max did not look too durable last night. Yeah, I mean, I think that was part of why he fought the way he did, because he's coming off his first KO loss in his career after having the most unbreakable chin ever. So I think he didn't really want to stand in the pocket with Poirier. He's probably like, dude, if I stand in the pocket, I might get PTSD here. I might, have Ilya Topuria creeping in the back of my mind. Let me just stay to the outside. Dustin's my favorite fighter, and I hate how invested I got into Dustin. It hurt seeing Dustin get dropped and leave. I feel like Dustin didn't want to be in there. I disagree, dude. I don't think he didn't want to be in there. Because if he didn't, he probably would have just, taken the TKO. He got dropped twice, dude. He got dropped twice by Max. So I don't think he didn't want to be in there. I think he's just ready to be done, which is understandable. Did Costa to win and Max to win by KO and over 2.5? Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. Neil Magny is the GOAT. That is true. Most wins in the welterweight division. Did you catch what Dana said about Jon Jones and White House fight? Dana said it's too risky for him to book Jon Jones for the White House fight. Pretty interesting stuff. What do you think of all that? I think he's trying to get some leverage over Jon Jones because Jon Jones had the leverage over him for a long time, trying to, string out this Tom Aspinall fight. And they were throwing a ton of money at Jon Jones, trying to make this fight happen. And then Jon Jones is like, you know what? I'm just going to retire. And then they bring the White House fights into conversation. And now Jon's like, oh, I want to fight at the White House. Let me get back into the testing pool. And Dana's like, hold up, little bro. Look who's talking. You want to fight now? You want to fight at the White House? I don't trust you. I don't trust you to fight at the White House. We're probably going to have to look elsewhere. So I think it's all part of leverage, negotiation things to where he's like, you know what, Jon? You fucked us for a lot of times in the UFC. And I had your back a lot of those times in the UFC. And you just wanted to walk away when we had this massive fight lined up against Tom Aspinall. And you were too much of a pussy to take that fight. And now you want to come back because we're building this beautiful thing at the White House. How about you sit down a little bit, you take a bunch less money, and maybe we can talk. So I think that's why he said what he did. I think it's all part of negotiations. But I agree with him, man. I agree with him. Jon Jones has had fights get canceled. He's had to pull out of fights many times. Even just think back to when he was supposed to fight Stipe. He got injured. Can't help an injury, but still got injured and had to rebook the fight a year later. So I understand it, but at the end of the day, I think it's all negotiation stuff. I had Nicole Vertenikov, Alan Oliveira, Pitbull Costa Poirier for 100-1, cash it out at 40-1 before main event. Oh, there we go. It's a good cash out, I guess, since Poirier would have lost, but cash out's probably not the best way to go about it. The only thing I'm happy about is Dustin not getting finished. That's true. Dulatov with welterweight, Arman. Rich and doesn't even need to fight, but does it for fun. Is he rich? I don't know. I think he probably is. I think I've seen him on his Instagram with like some crazy cars, but I don't know if you get that from Versace modeling. I don't know what. Maybe he comes from a rich family. Who knows? Am I going to UFC 319? I think maybe. All right. Since we made a good amount of money in Las Vegas, I think I might have to buy some tickets, man. I think I might have to. It's only a couple hour drive from my house. The thing is, it's like, it is just so nice to watch it on a TV, in the luxury of your own home, or even just out at another place. I don't know, man. Maybe. I don't know if you caught this, but did Allen take shots on Marvin's brother in his interview? No, I don't think he did. He was taking shots at Vittori's coaches. I know that. Definitely didn't take shots at his brother. That'd be fucked. I don't think he did that. Who the worst performance, Holland or Zell Huber? Zell Huber for sure. Do you follow boxing as well? Manny Pacquiao fought, and it was a tie. Everyone was saying he got robbed. I didn't follow it. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't watch the fight at all. I didn't even know it was a draw. But it doesn't shock me that there's controversy surrounding a boxing decision at all. Holland only good when he's an underdog. I mean, yeah, I think he overlooks his competition a lot. And I think the fact that he was such a big favorite, he's probably like, I'm just going to walk in here and beat this guy. And then he got hit with a couple big punches. And as I said earlier, a couple big punches can change the fight entirely. And it did. Thanks for the span and crew parlay, bro. You're welcome. Glad you cashed. You see all the drama between Costa and Hamzat, how he DM'd Costa's wife. Crazy stuff. Do you think they will make that fight happen? I didn't see that he DM'd Costa's wife. That's pretty wild. I hope they don't make it, because Costa's got to get a bunch more wins before he can talk about that. But if there's beef, there's beef. That's good. Build some more beef. We need more beef in the UFC. You caught that too. I felt like Max did it it did take it easy on Dustin out of respect, man. I'm so bummed that's not the performance from Dustin I wanted to see. Just goes to show maybe Dustin felt like it was. Yeah, I really do think Max took it easy on him in round one when he dropped him. So that kind of sucked to see, but because he kind of did the same thing. If you remember in the Korean Zombie retirement fight, he had Zombie hurt bad a couple times early in that fight. Even tried to submit him. And then Zombie was like, fuck it, dude. I'm going out on my shield. And he came in there, third round, just like, I'm either knocking you out or I'm getting knocked out. And so Max was like, all right, I got to fucking knock him out. So then he knocked him out. Dustin didn't do that. So that's why it went to decision. But yeah, I mean, I think Max definitely took it easy on him there in round one after he dropped him. I have to wait to see what RDR's odds on sub or KO. I'm going to take it. Probably won't be amazing, but it'll probably be solid. I think Davey Grant can pull the upset this weekend. I don't think he's completely out of it either. I got to look at it more, though. Your new studio is looking nice, bro, and the new graphics in your videos. I appreciate that, brother. A lot of work goes into that, so I appreciate that. Michael Johnson should fight Jim Miller or Bobby Green now. Michael Johnson, Bobby Green. Book it. That sounds like a fight. Couple unks swinging it out. Jim Miller would not be a bad fight either. Another unk. What's next for John Jones now that he's unretired and Dana doesn't sound interested in giving him the White House fight? Where does he go from here? I think he's only going to come back for the White House fight, so I don't really think he would come back for anything else. Dix Insider, how we doing? Hey, John, had my best weekend of the year, up 155 units. Holy shit, dude. You must have hit some crazy parlays or your units are wilding. But congrats. All glory to God. It's like Dustin was just living in the moment the whole week. As soon as Max pointed at the ground, he wanted to dab him up and give him a hug. Like, bro, it's the last 10 seconds. Imagine Max points to the ground. He's like, we're doing this. And Dustin's just like, nah, bro, come on. Give me a hug. It's true. I mean, there's a lot of emotions that go into the whole week. I'm sure Dustin was like emotional roller coaster the entire week. So I can't knock him for it, dude. Dana not trusting John Jones is giving a boyfriend not trusting his girl going out. That's kind of true. Max looks not the same after Ilya KO'd him. Durability dropped a lot. I wouldn't doubt it. Hit my cycle 2. Carly KO 2-3. Bruno sub 1-2. Veretenikov decision. Wow. That is a hell of a cycle, even including the round numbers. Good hit, Dix Insider. Early prop bets for Dricus and Chimaev. Think fight goes under or Dricus gets a knockdown. Well, we don't know what the over-under is going to be, so I can't really tell you that. I don't know if Dricus is going to get a knockdown. I don't really think either of them are able to give a prediction on because we don't know what the lines are. I think Patty versus Max makes sense, to be honest. I wouldn't mind that, but I feel like Patty wouldn't really be the fight. Personally, I love this fight as a last fight, considering most legends go outside and fight after the UFC. You know what's scary? Is I feel like in a year or two, Poirier's going to miss the competition, and I feel like he's going to do like some boxing stuff, dude. I feel like he's going to get lured into some big boxing fight where he's going to get a huge payday. And I'm not saying he's going to get like washed in boxing, but I just got a bad feeling, man. I just got a bad feeling because Poirier's hands are still clean, dude. Like they're still super clean. And obviously he's mainly a boxer in there. So it kind of scares me, man. I think Poirier might come back in a year or two for some boxing thing. What pissed me off was, too, when Dustin jumped for a Gilly, he should have switched to a Darce when he dropped Max. The round was, yeah. That was actually crazy, though. That the crowd was so loud, the round had ended and the ref didn't even know it. And Poirier actually landed some big elbows. Like, you give him maybe 25 more seconds, maybe he knocks him out there. How soon into the D-Rod Holland fight did you realize the DFS play on D-Rod was a bad play? People were coming for me on your posts for disagreeing. D-Rod not great, but he has crazy output. I mean, it wasn't a bad play in my opinion because, historically it had hit in Kevin Holland's fight at an absurd rate. And when I'm going through a lot of these, it's like I look for a lot of stuff like that. So the 5-leg underdog play went 4 out of 5. So obviously the one leg that didn't hit was the D-Rod play. And I went 6-2 on the DFS plays again. So it's not like I did a terrible job on the DFS plays. But yeah, I mean, in order for that to hit, I mean, you really got to have a finish within the first 2 rounds. And I expected Kevin Holland to get him out of there in the first 2 rounds. So obviously, if the fight goes to decision, it ain't going to happen. And that's the risk you take. So you always got to have some risk into it. But I agree. It probably wasn't the best look. Unreal card last night, 9 units of profit for me, and would have been like 25 if Kevin Holland just got a finish. You're telling me, brother. I saw Matty playing basketball by himself at Boca Lifetime, but bro was so locked in. I didn't say anything. You need to lock in on these picks and not basketball. Let the man shoot, brother. Shoot or shoot. After last night, we could say the debate for the best chin is over. Vittori's chin is goated, bro. Imagine putting Vittori's chin on Yuri or Oliveira. That chin is absolutely nuts. The best ever. It's probably the GOAT. Considering he fights at middleweight, it's probably the GOAT. Hey, brother, I'm a little late, but thank you for the Ryan Spann round 1 finish, Jimmy Crute round 1 finish parlay. I got 11-1 odds, pretty decent payout. It's a damn good payout, brother. 11-1. We'll take that all day. Tom Aspinall, he should say a 38-year-old who hasn't fought in 2 years doesn't excite me since John wanted to waste a year of Aspinall's prime. That is true. He should pull that line out. I'd be with that. Actually, I shouldn't say line when we're talking about John Jones. If you know what I'm talking about. Put Jones on the prelims if you want him on the White House card. True. Put him on the prelims. That would be hilarious, dude. That'd be amazing. Holloway does bad things to Charles. Kind of agree. Felt bad for Matty's cycle. Hit the first 2 legs so easy. Yeah, the first leg didn't hit actually, but the Ige KO was never had a chance. Cashed out 3 slips before the co-main. It saved my night. I mean, prelims was just cooking, bro. Cooking. I couldn't miss on the prelims. I knew it for real, bro. As soon as I saw you won them first round bets, I knew you'd go for 319. Dude, it's like I'm not even so much. Obviously, I don't want to pay that much for a ticket, but at the same time, it's like it's just like a kind of a hassle to go there. But once I'm there, like I'm into it, it's cool. So it might be a game time decision. We'll see. Month out and still no co-main event for UFC 319. Will they book Ian Gary versus Bilal? I hope so. I hope they book something, man. they had it on the screen to be determined. Co-main event, UFC 319. Like, what are we doing here? We don't have a co-main event. The event's in a month away. Lost $700 on the Holland fight and about $300 on the Ige fight. Had a $400 cash out. Didn't take it. Lived to see another day, brother. There's always next week. Holloway knocking down Poirier, shut down the Ilya haters that thought Dustin should fight Ilya. Yeah, that would not be a good fight, man. That would not be a good fight. I think Ilya would knock him out as well. Costa versus loser of RDR Whitaker. Well, I mean, if Whitaker loses, they ain't going to do a rematch. I can tell you that. Bro, Prado is too damn small for 170. I completely agree. Still have no idea why he's at 170. It doesn't make any sense to me. He should easily be able to make 155. He always looks a weight class below than these guys at 170. Paula said that Hamza DM his wife saying he's going to KO his husband. I'm going to have to look into that because that's actually pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts. What was it like living in Florida? Do you recommend moving there? If you're young and ambitious, go ahead and move there. But if not, probably ain't for you, bro. Probably ain't for you. Smash the like button, fatty. Facts, boys. Smash the like button. I don't know if you ever seen The Boys, but John Jones is Homelander. I don't know what that means. Sorry, Jesus. I agree with Dustin going to boxing. I could see Dustin versus Connor in boxing. Oh, God. Don't even get me started. I don't see it, dude. I, I mean, maybe, but they would have to do that within the next like year or two. Because then we're talking about a 38-year-old Dustin Poirier and a 36-year-old Conor McGregor. Like, come on, dude. I am really into that. Poirier and BKFC would go crazy. No, do not put Poirier in BKFC. Okay, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And it's not because I don't think he would do well, but I just don't want to see Poirier in bare knuckle boxing. Yeah, it's just, no, I just don't want to see that. You think this whole thing with Ilya is legit? How people who fought Ilya in fight and take a loss then go on to win his next fight? That's now last 8 fighters who lost Ilya won next fight. I don't know if it's a coincidence or what, but the one thing I can say about the Holloway factor is like he got knocked out by Ilya, and then I see in his next fight, he's not standing in the pocket. He's not engaging in the pocket, which is kind of normally what he does, but it looked like it was more of a thing on his mind in this fight. So it could be just a coincidence that, you know, these guys lose to Ilya Taporia and then they win their next fight. But also could be like some adjustments that they make into the next one. So there's no way to know, really. I don't really see it. Just the way he talked about being with his family, he's done for sure. Doesn't seem like an honest man. I agree, but he also said he was probably going to retire after the Islam fight. So kind of the same thing. This week faded some of your DFS like the D-Rod and Phillips. Just had a weird feeling about it. Well, the Phillips one did hit, so maybe you got a different line, but that one did hit. I don't know if you actually watched PFL, but the fact that there were so many finishes real quick and UFC production still continued with no dry time. Yeah, dude, PFL sucks at their pacing. UFC's is up there. They also had a ton of fights on the card, so they could, even if there was an early finish, they could keep them going. But that's the good thing about UFC. Dana low-key ruined UFC by pricing out fans. All the VIP seating was mostly empty the whole card. Yeah, it always is. Always is. Unless Theo Vaughn is there, there's usually nobody there. Put Holland for sub. Jimmy Crute round one finish. Ryan Spann round one finish. Put that 3X on Underdog. The other two. Oh, that sucks, dude. Sorry. I say Gaethje versus Ilya. No. Dude, Ilya's going to put Gaethje in a body bag. Armin versus Patty. Charles versus Max. I think you do Ilya versus Armin. Gaethje versus Patty. Charles versus Max. That makes more sense to me. Did you see Armin with the $1 million offer and a pick from his car collection so he can get the next title shot against Ilya? I did see that. I don't know if I believe it, but it's kind of hard to deny it when you see how much money that dude has. So Max Ilya rematch for BMF. Dude, if Max rematches Ilya at 155, same thing's going to happen, dude. Same thing. How do you think Rebellis to Spain versus Cyril Khan in a striking only match goes? I think Cyril Khan would probably win, dude. I think he'd probably win. What's going on, Jamal? Still getting proud. Gotta love it. How do you see the future for Fabricio Pitbull? Patricio Pitbull's brother? It's probably not going to be in the UFC because he's not as good as his brother. Why Matty run for me last night or offered him to buy him a drink? Don't know. Dr. Peener. Shout out to Dr. Peener. Dang, bro. Your muscle's about to rip through that ultra tight shirt like Hulk Hogan. You've been drinking that muscle milk for show. Hey, the shirt is a little bit small on me, so there's a reason behind that, but it's a little chilly in here, so that's why I got to rock the long sleeves. Homelander is pretty much corrupted superhero, but as a bad person, that's pretty much a psychopath. Okay, yeah, I get it a little bit. I got you now. Thoughts on Eblin losing? I was shocked to see that he lost. I didn't follow the PFL at all on Saturday because I wasn't really that interested. But the fact that he lost was crazy, and the way that he lost is crazy. But also the even crazier part about it is that most people just don't even know. Most people don't even care because like Johnny Eblin was this undefeated guy in the PFL, the Bellator champion for a long time, PFL now. They're like, this is our best fighter. Like people were saying, Johnny Eblin goes into the UFC, he could be a real title contender, and he loses to some guy I've never even heard of. And it's like there's no talk about it because nobody cares, dude. Like if there was no betting on PFL, I don't know if people would watch it, dude. I don't know. Is there a long break from UFC? No UFC till no. There's definitely. I mean, there's Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi next week. There's a couple of Apex cards, and then there's UFC 319. What fighting options are there if there is a break? There is no break, dude. UFC is continuing. We also got Contender Series coming up. Can't wait for that. Love the Contender Series. Armin hasn't fought for 15 months. Yeah, I guess it has been 15 months. Wow. Good reasons on Jimmy and Ryan. I mean, a lot of people told me you can't trust Ryan Spann and you can't trust Jimmy Crute. Well, there's an opponent that you can trust them against. And if I was going to pick two opponents that I would trust Jimmy Crute and Ryan Spann against, it would be Marcin Prachnio and Lucas Dresky because they are terrible. So that's why you can trust them. Against other fighters, can't really trust them. But when they're that much better than their opponent, then you can trust them. 100x DFS was looking so good. Thought the Rodriguez leg was about to be free. Was only worried about Kopylov. Yeah, I was pissed because we've been 6 of 8, 7 of 8. What 3 out of the last 4 weeks now? It's frustrating, but you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. We already hit it earlier this year, so I think we can hit 2 a year. We'll be good. We still got a lot left, and we're still racking up money. Would you consider putting out a vid of your life story? I see you train a bit. Heard you mention football, new baby, new move home. I love to put the pieces together, man. Feel like your audience would dig. I mean, if more people are interested in it, I would be down. But very cool to see that you're interested. Yeah, I guess if more people were interested, I definitely would. Strickland being suspended, is that for only the U.S., Strickland and Abu Dhabi? I didn't see how long his suspension was, but I think it's probably U.S. That would make sense. I don't know I think anything goes in Abu Dhabi, to be honest. They're pretty sure they made like their own commission. Or maybe Abu Dhabi has a commission now, but it's probably just run by the UFC at the end of the day. Faye bet for next Saturday. I don't have anything locked in right now, so I'm not going to say anything because I just haven't had the time to lock in and figure it out. I think I'm going to take a couple days before I lock in anything, unless I see something that really jumps off the board to me. But the DFS play should be coming out tomorrow. You had Allen for higher on strikes. That was a good call. I didn't really see that hitting just because Allen's a lazy piece of shit. I mean, yeah, those are the ones that it comes down to the opponent. Marvin's not really going to wrestle him. They're probably going to be on the feet. Waige looked different and did not trust in his hands. Could easily KO him. Well, he got caught with a shot. I think it was around 1 that might have scared him off a little bit, but he's always been kind of a low volume guy. Oliveira's a beast. Talking about Vinicius Oliveira, I agree. Who does Oliveira fight next after win? I would say you could give him like a Rob Font. You could give him a Cheeto Vera, something like that. I think that'd be a couple of good fights. Jimmy Crute thinks being the favorite means more people like him. Hot take. You should angle your couch a little bit so we can see the stand right behind you. Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. I was. I'll probably look at it a little bit more, but I was thinking about it. Carlos Leal KO next week is a lock. I want to say it's a lock, but I could definitely see it happening. I don't know why I second think about putting $200 on a 2-man when it's more likely to hit than a 5-man. It's true, bro. You gotta put up your Hey Jive light, dude. I gotta get a new one actually. When I do, it's gonna go right there, but I gotta get a new one. Is Strickland only suspended in Vegas? I have no idea, dude. It might be just in Nevada. Nevada State Athletic Commission probably is the suspension, so it might just be there. You're right about Sean would get suspended. I knew he would. I knew he would. Can't do that type of stuff. Strickland should be suspended from wearing flip flops. Ran into the cage like a drunk, charging the T-ball umper. Yeah, dude. I think flip flops is just a crazy look on Sean. Just weird. How do you see the Bryce fight going the next week? If he can take the fight to the ground, he can win that all day. I think the same thing. If he can get the fight to the ground, I think he can win. He's just got to watch his neck. That's for sure. Any chance Barrios beats Shara? I think it would be a very slim chance. Very slim. Vittori looks scared to advance. All he needs to do is brawl. He has the best chin. He has a good chin, but the reason why he has a good chin is because he doesn't brawl. Like, if he actually brawled, that chin would probably crack. But when he gets hit with something big, he always backs off. Always backs off, resets a little bit, gets out of the danger. So if he brawled, I think that chin would be cracked by now. Leal's a great pickup for the UFC. Only PFL fighter that has really delivered. Yeah, I agree. I think Leal's a great pickup for the UFC. Fun fighter. We'll put my money on brutal KO for Shara. I would probably as well. Any big upset you see happening this Saturday? None really. No big ones. There's not really too many big upsets or too many big favorites. If I could maybe, throw one out there that could happen, I could maybe see Marcus McGee pulling it off, but it would have to come down to Piotr Jan having trouble finding his reads. And he'd have to probably start out a little bit slow. So that's one I could throw out there, but don't run to the bank with that, please. Probably minus money, to be honest. Yeah, it probably will be. All right, if you want to sleep me, go ahead. Good try. Davey Grant might be calling my name this weekend. He might. I kind of agree. Do you see Alex got his ex blacklisted from Karate Combat? I did see that. That's pretty nuts. I guess he really don't like her. She must have done some weird stuff. I don't know if you talked about it, but what did you think about the Holland fight? Yeah, I think it's terrible. Terrible look for Kevin Holland. Fought to the level of his competition, got hit with big shots, completely changed the fight. Should have had him KO'd in round 3. Terrible look. Apparently she was talking shit to his sister who was fighting. I don't know why she would talk shit to his sister. That's wild. Hamzat Chimaev inside the distance versus DDP. Chimaev is finishing him round 1 or 2 for sure. That's probably his win condition, brother. Early thoughts on Bahail Imavov? I think Imavov, bro. I think Imavov. Cooked up DFS. What do you think of Bryce? 2.5 over on takedowns. Oliveira took him down twice. Could definitely see that. Who you got between McGee and Jan if you had to guess? I mean, for a straight pick, I'd probably say Jan, but the odds are pretty wide. So that's why I think maybe McGee, as a big dog, could maybe pull it off. You think DDP can make Hamzat cry at the press conference? Nah, I don't think you can make that man cry. Favorite fight on this Saturday's card? Probably the main event, honestly. I really like the main event. Whitaker and RDR. Exactly. McGee has the power to make that happen. I kind of agree. And I think it's the power paired with the movement and the volume. He could definitely, steal the first round. Does he win the second? Maybe. Round 3 is probably going to be a Piotr Jan round. So, yeah, it's tempting. I like this week. Grant, RDR, Ricci, Ochoa. Those are some greasy ones, dude. Grant underdog, RDR underdog, Ricci underdog, Ochoa pick'em. Those are some names to throw out there, bro. Good luck, Jork. Blackshear minus 265. Money line is a lock. Julio came in here and said your Davy Grant picks are shit. Blackshear's a lock, he says. Might throw some on McGee too. Comes down to the odds, man. I think I haven't looked at it, but I feel like Jan might grow as a favorite. We'll see. What time does the card start at? Is it an early card? It is an early card. I think it'll probably start at like 10 or 11 in the morning. What app website do you use for betting? A bunch of them. You got to have a bunch of them in your bag. You got to shop the best lines. You think Piotr Jan and McGee is going to the distance? I think probably. I think both guys are durable enough. So I think, yeah, most likely. How that guy is picking Davy Grant is crazy. Whitaker is solid, but I don't think he KOs RDR. And I also can't see him not getting taken down. I agree. Do you like Shara Yan parlay at minus 197? No, I do not. No, I do not. It's a lot of chalk. A lot of chalk to eat. When does Ortega fight next? I believe they fight in China in like August, maybe September. But he fights Aljo. Should be a good fight. All right, I'm going to hit these last few chats, then I'm going to hop out of here. Went a little bit longer than I thought I would, but chat is popping. Appreciate y'all for joining. Hit the like button for me. I'll hit these last chats, and then we're out of here, bro. Wendy's fan. Any underrated fights for Saturday? Ochoa El Mabayev. I'm a big fan of Ochoa, but this is a big step up for him. So we'll see if he can pull it off. BetMGM got better lines so far for this card. Depends on the fight, I'm sure. If you're counting Grant out so easy, you haven't done tape study yet. It's true, man. It's true. Can't count out Davy Grant. Shar McGee, RDR, Boucher, Rebus, parlay. It's too many legs, bro. Too many legs. China. Yeah, they're fighting in China, I think. RDR has kissable lips. Just saying what we're all thinking. All right. All right. Shout out Dr. Peener. Grant is kind of underrated, so if the odds are wide enough, I'll sprinkle on Grant. I agree. Hit the like button for me, lads. Shar seems more legit every fight. What do you think? He lost his last fight, but I bet on Page to win, so I kind of saw it coming. Who do you like in Bryce Saeed? I think it's close. Kind of leaning towards Bryce, but that's going to do it, boys. I'm hopping out of here. Appreciate y'all for joining the live. Hit the like button for me on the way out. Early picks video is up on the YouTube channel. Go check it out. And, take a look at the early leans. We'll be back here live stream on Tuesday to break down UFC Abu Dhabi. I'll get you a nice guest. Wednesday, we got the official picks. Best bets video on Thursday. Great fight night card. Great fight night card. Early start time as well. Love those during the day. You don't got to stay up during the late hours of the night. You get a full day's rest. It's all good. Gonna be a good week. UFC Abu Dhabi, UFC 318 in the books. Till next time, A-Job Picks. We out.